You know what I mean? Like
you know on Football Manager when
like,
a player doesn't like big matches and it's like red, in little circles, red.
Yeah.
He has that, but as a manager. Where do we stand on that? Because I think that's personally waffle.
If you're new here, then please do subscribe to the In Good Company YouTube channel and also go and follow us on Spotify if you have not already. And I hope you enjoy. Of course, today, World Cup semi-final. So, of course, we'll touch on the World Cup a little bit. England, and really for you, mainly about Gareth Southgate. Where do you stand by him now?
I'm such an on-the-fence person when it comes to this because, like, I get it. It's kind of the end of the cycle now. He's had 3 tournaments. We've got to a final, semi-final, quarter-final. But you still have to acknowledge he's the second most successful England manager, right?
Yeah, statistically, he's the most, apart from the fact he's not won the World Cup.
Yeah, in terms of wins, he literally is.
Yeah.
So you can't like just discard that and throw that away. And I do think he's a solid manager in terms of just like results. But every time we play a big team, we crumble.
You do not agree at all, do you, Louis?
Gareth, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. When it comes to big games, when it comes to the crunch, he doesn't know what the crunch is. You know what I mean? Like
you know on Football Manager when a player doesn't like big matches and it's like red, in little circles, red.
Yeah.
He has that, but as a manager,
it's like we don't. The thing is with England, right? When it comes to playing Iran and Wales, like at this tournament, we've been unbelievable. As soon as it's come up against something which could be a bit of a scary prospect, like losing to the USA, it goes right. 11 men behind the ball, we're going to hit on the counter, but the counter attack's going to be one person and no one can help him. And then it's the same in all the big games. Croatia, France, Italy, set piece or one counter, and then it's that's it. Don't take it else. And it's the fundamentals of football is if you're 1-0 up, you never sit back.
The thing
Italy
is
horrendous. Italy was the one, especially. I think we actually played well against France, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't do that.
But I think it's because we were behind and chasing the game for most of it, so we couldn't do the whole let's just sit back and do whatever. Because we actually needed a goal. Like Chouameni scored relatively early.
Yeah, great goal by the way as well.
A great goal. Was a foul on Saka, but great goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do hear that. I think with Italy especially, like calm. You got and everyone was like, oh, we scored too early. It's like, but that should never be a thing. Scoring too early should never be a thing, and it would never be a thing.
The thing is, it is a thing in football. Like even on club level, I've realised for Burnley, like I can't compare, but it is a thing that you can score too early because you just piss off the other team.
Yeah, but if you score too early, you still should be pressing on. Like it should be.
Yeah, but that's not what happened. We didn't piss off Italy. We just went, right, cool, we've got the lead now. Let's sit back. You can't do that. There's 8 minutes left. You can't sit back and just.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. That's what for me. I know who I'd want, and I personally think Southgate. Thank you very much. Laid the foundations. Like what he's done's been fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But we now with this squad, we probably got one tournament left, 2 at a push.
No. What do you mean? Just World Cup?
Think of what? No. You got 1 World Cup and 1 Euros. And in this particular squad, like Harry Kane will be 33.
Oh yeah.
And then
Kane especially, but like
I think the rest. I think we got still 3.
The rest of the team is Foden, Bellingham, even up to the age of like.
I mean, a lot of teams, absolutely. But then the problem is like in terms of the centre forward.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that. What probably 2 tournaments left? There's one man. He's Portuguese.
No.
Bring in Mourinho, boys.
No.
Jesus Christ. I would actually like to see that.
Imagine having.
It would just be funny, innit?
Imagine the Southgate, like the work he's done, bringing the country together. That's just going to. Mourinho will just tear it apart and just leave it to burn in 9 months. That kind of togetherness, that cohesiveness, the relationships, and the kind of family orientation in the national team right now. Mourinho just it wouldn't be about England. It'd be about Mourinho. All the interviews, all the news would be about Mourinho, not England.
But that's the opposite of what we want. The thing that Mourinho does is it makes it a fortress. Like whoever's in that team and in that squad, the whole 3 years of Mourinho thing would potentially be extended purely because he's only with them for a few months, and you can't have a coach as a manager of a national team.
Yeah.
Because if you have a coach, you're going to need to be in constant contact with those players, developing how you want to play.
I think a lot of the problem with breakdown of communication with Mourinho and his players often comes from, obviously, yes, it's Mourinho because he's a big character, but also having players like, I don't want to throw him under the bus, people like a Dele Alli, who is just not going to listen to him. I think the England core squad that you have now is the togetherness there is and the mentality there is good enough. to not have any sort of major problem with someone like Jose Mourinho. I wouldn't see a Bukayo Saka or a Phil Foden or a Jude Bellingham ever being a problem to a manager like Jose Mourinho, because they all have high work ethic. They're all like model professionals. So I think.
And then Jack Grealish would just bring the vibes.
And then Jack Grealish would bring the vibes. That would be an interesting dynamic, actually.
That would
Jose
be.
Mourinho and Jack Grealish. I think it would work, because Jack Grealish isn't a knobhead. He's just a bit of like a party don, like doesn't take life crazily seriously sort of person. So that would be interesting.
So
Realistically,
if you could pick someone, so like if he was to go, just
if Southgate was to go tomorrow, I'd probably. That's really boring. I'd go Thomas Tuchel, man. It's just easy.
Obvious choice,
It's
isn't
just-
it?
I
it's
think
just
that's the
easy, man.
safest one. I
It's
think,
safe. It's easy. He's a good manager. He's won the Champions League recently.
and I think he can still keep
Great
that.
times. I was actually here when we won the Champions League with Thomas Tuchel.
Really.
It's great. Great
Yeah.
times.
Can't believe you sacked him. Gonna be totally honest.
Let's move on from that, shall we? That's yeah. That's great. It's good. Got
Now
Graham
you've got Harry
Potter.
Potter in charge.
Hey, he's doing all right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So Southgate, basically, if he stays, would he be angry?
I wouldn't be angry, but I'd be a bit concerned because, like,
Question the ambition.
yeah, I think it's like what do the English FA like want? When someone like a Tuchel is there and they've actually openly been like, yeah, I'd take the England job if they offered me. You kind of got to go. Gareth Southgate used to manage Middlesbrough.
Got on relegated.
Tuchel.
Respect
won
Middlesbrough,
the
man. Come on,
Champions
respect
League.
him.
Nah, I'm not-
Put some respect in their name.
This is it. Like he is.
Shouts out Britt Sombolok. Does he still play for them? Surely not.
No.
Nah, he's long gone.
I've no idea where he is now.
I think he was in Belgium when I last checked. But
They got Chuba Akpom out, bro, right now. To be fair,
Wow.
is it?
He's bagging Chuba Akpom. for them.
Chuba Akpom.
Mate, it's
What a
mad.
striker.
But yeah, but like he is a tournament coach. Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
I'll be
He is
okay
a
with
tournament
it.
coach
I'll be
and
okay with
manager.
that. To be fair,
There's this argument of like Jamie Carragher brought it up on Twitter that
Yeah.
the English manager or the England. Where do we stand on that? Because I think that's personally waffle. I don't.
the manager should be English. You're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind.
Or the idea of
manager.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it's calm. It's sweet. It's a sweet idea, but like,
We don't have many good English
Well,
managers.
no,
That's
exactly.
the problem.
And that's
who would
the-
you choose if it had to be an English manager?
Could be Eddie Howe.
Eddie
could
Howe
be-
is the only one that I think would work. People, I mean, even as a Burnley fan, I see people say Sean Dyche, and I'm thinking, if you are unhappy of the way we're playing under
Christ.
Southgate,
You ain't gonna.
I've
like
watched
Sean
that for
Dyche.
like a decade. It's going. People aren't going to like it. People are going to get
But
even more frustrated about it.
The problem is with the FA is they don't do enough for English coaches. So this is where the politics in me comes out now.
Yeah.
So like if you look at major countries and their football institutions, so Spain, Germany, France, Italy, Brazil, all of these places have the infrastructure in place through football where there's a huge amount of facilities available, even down to just the pitches, for free or for a minimal cost within the country. Now, obviously, it helps that there is a lot more land mass in all these areas, but in the UK, they don't have that. They don't. There's very limited areas for football, and in terms of the coaching and being able to coach, it's extremely difficult to work your way up the pyramid.
Yeah.
So it's like sort of like, for example, like you've got obviously ex-players have the opportunity because they're fast-tracked, and it makes sense when they're in a pretty solid position. But there's no English managers right now who I'd look at and go, oh yeah, they're the perfect man for the job. I mean, you got, I think right now in terms of availability, you've got Gerrard, who's I don't think he did terribly at Villa, but he wasn't.
He wasn't what a lot of
Yeah.
people expected. Him.
Exactly. Frank Lampard was pretty good at Chelsea. Not gonna lie.
I do think he's disrespected for what he actually did
Yeah.
at Chelsea. To be fair,
Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
it gets him fourth in that first year with the squad that he had, the embargo. Very young team as well. Like,
I mean, he really accelerated a lot of careers. The lack of like English coaching reflects in the Premier League.
yeah.
Like, I mean, like obviously they've just sacked Hurtle and they've brought in the Don from Luton,
Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones.
Yeah.
But before, Southampton are not are not a traditional like big Premier League club. They're a mid-table side.
yeah.
A mid-table side in Spain will have a Spanish manager, you would usually imagine. Or a mid-table side in Italy would have an Italian manager. There's not even enough English coaches to fill out the mid-table sides in England that are actually good quality.
If you're new here, then please do subscribe to the In Good Company YouTube channel and also go and follow us on Spotify if you have not already. And I hope you enjoy.